Warm greetings of the day to all my diligent learners. This is Liju ma'am from TIS with yet another chapter from your English course book, Living English 8. The chapter's title is The Boon of Words by Uma Raman. Before going on to the chapter, let us know more about the author Uma Raman. She is an Indian author and poet. She taught English in schools for several years and later served as the principal of a prestigious school in Delhi. She has developed innovative ELT content and rich reading material for children. She is also one of the authors of the Living English series for middle school. Now it is time to look into the vocabulary bank related to the chapter, starting with got on everyone's nerves, which means irritated everyone. Next, irreverent, disrespectful, come to a sticky end, get into great trouble, take him in hand. This means to deal strictly with him. Reprimands, that is scolding. Turn over a new leaf, that is change for the better. Jose, which means incense. Temerity, it refers to the boldness that also seemed rude. Next is puny mortal, which means small, insignificant human being. Last but not the least, mollified. It means less angry. I hope these words and phrases are definitely going to enrich the vocabulary bank of my learners. Now it is time to look into the story. So let's get started. Just like most of the stories begin, once upon a time in the village of Tenali, there lived a boy called Raman. He was clever, good looking, but he got on everyone's nerves by playing pranks, mocking the elders of the village. So we can say that Raman was irreverent, that is, disrespectful towards the elders of the village. The elders decided that something had to be done about Raman. They caught hold of Raman's mother and warned her that her son would come to a sticky end if she did not take him in hand. They warned her that if he went on like that, he would be sent away from the village. After months of gentle reprimands and attempts at persuading Raman to turn over a new leaf, she got really fed up. The poor woman did not know what to do until she found a holy man who was a teacher and decided to send Raman off to study with him. She said to Raman, "Don't come back till you have learned enough to earn your living." So Raman went off to study with his teacher, the holy man. Now it would be interesting to see how he behaved in the school with the teacher. He was actually good at his lessons. He even forgot to play pranks. His teacher was very pleased with him. Finally, one day, the teacher told Raman, "Well, I have taught you all I can. Now you must go into the world and seek your fortune." Raman answered, "But I still do not know what I can do for a living. How will I face my mother?" His teacher then taught him a mantra and told him to recite it at the nearby temple 3 million times and said, If you concentrate and recite the mantra sincerely, the goddess with her 1,000 heads will reveal herself to you. If you remain unafraid, you can ask for a boon. She will tell you about the occupation you can take up in life. Next day, Raman got up early, bathed in the river, and wore new clothes. Then he went home and brought a plate of offerings with coconut, bananas, betel leaves, nuts, joss stick, a string of sweet smelling jasmine, and a lump of fragrant camphor. He set off to recite the mantra at the temple. He stood in front of the deity at the temple and began chanting the mantra. When Raman had chanted the mantra 3 million times, the goddess revealed herself to him in all her glory. So, did Raman get his boon? Let's find out. Suddenly, a thought struck Raman and he burst into laughter. The goddess was stunned for a moment. She had never seen a mortal who was not only not terror struck by her form, but also had the temerity to laugh at her. She felt quite insulted and thundered. You puny mortal! How dare you laugh at me? What do you find so funny? Raman tried to control himself and finally uttered these words between gusts of laughter. I was just wondering, what do you do when you have a cold? We mortals find it so difficult with one nose and two hands. How on earth do you manage with 1,000 runny noses? The goddess was furious. She looked down haughtily at Raman and said, because you have dared to laugh at me, you will earn your living as a jester, a Vikata Kavi. That is the occupation I give you. Raman, however, was not upset. He said, oh, that's great. That is an interesting occupation, whichever way you say it. It's a palindrome. Vikata Kavi. It reads the same left to right and right to left. The goddess was amazed at Raman's wit that made him see a joke even in a curse. She was little mollified and said, well, since you have such a sense of humor, you will be a jester at the court of the king and make a name for yourself. And that's exactly what happened. Raman went on to become a court jester to King Krishna Deva Rai of Vijayanagar and became very famous. Yes, you all know him. We all know him as Tenali Raman for his jokes and witty answer. So, that was the story, The Boon of Words, all about. I would like to summarize the story with a quote which is as follows. The power of words is impeccable. They are key to our soul, the medium to express our opinions, which persuade people towards the right avenue. So, learners, let your words change the world and bless you with many boons, as words have the power to heal, inspire. So, Choose your words well. On that note, I, Liju Susan Thomas, TGT English from TIS, sign off. Thank you and happy learning to all.